Guitar geeks, this is the Ibanez ARH520FM-VLS. What does it stand for? Let me tell you. The AR because it's part of the Artist series, the H because it's a semi-hollow body, so we've got this hole just here. 520 is the number, FM is because of this flamed maple top, and the VLS is Violin Sunburst, which is the color. Let's take a quick look at the back. So we've got it's not quite black. It's like a dark, very, very dark red, black back kind of thing. Like a very, very deep burgundy or maroon. I'm not sure what the color would be, but it's not black. It's red. That's for certain. We've got a 𝗬𝗘𝗏 fretboard, which on this guitar seems fairly red as well, but it's kind of between brown and red. And 𝗬𝗘𝗏 is one of the woods that Ibanez use that are slightly more sustainable than the classics such as rosewood. I picked this guitar to review because I absolutely adore this finish. I think it looks beautiful. There's one available in blue as well, which has now caught my eye, but this one is certainly my favorite. It's traditional looking. It's one of my favorite finishes, that sort of tobacco, violin, sunbursty kind of look. And on this guitar, it really pops. Also, it has gold hardware, which I seem to be coming around to. I didn't used to be a fan of gold hardware, but now I seem to pick a lot of guitars to review that have gold hardware, and I kind of forget that it's gold. Whereas I used to think, ugh, that looks cheap and nasty. The gold hardware on this is one of those kind of paler gold, so I find the more rich, the more yellow, more vibrant gold to be cheap looking, like a cheap watch. But this gold is certainly more in the more expensive looking, milder gold camp. It has quite a slim neck, so I've played a few Epiphone slim 60s taper D things, and it feels quite like that. So if you're into thick necks, this might not be the guitar for you. However, the tone of this guitar is quite surprising, because even though it looks and feels like a Les Paul kind of guitar, it's much, much darker in tone. And it's actually, I've seen a few reviews or a few demos on YouTube where they've played jazz. I'm not a jazz player, but I am going to try and play some kind of jazz thing for you now to show you how warm it sounds, and also to appease those players that have come here looking for those scales that I don't know. Anyway, here's a little piece of jazz for you. Stopping when I'm kind of ahead. That's the most jazz I've ever been. If you play jazz and you enjoy jazz and you listen to jazz and you're a jazz player, then I'm really sorry. If you don't, or if you're scared of jazz like I am, then I'm actually quite proud of my playing just there. But the point is, the guitar sounds like a jazz guitar, so that helps me. So I'm not just thinking, well, how do I make this Les Paul or how do I make this Telly sound jazz, even though you do jazz with those. For me, this is more jazz than those guitars. Am I making sense? If not, then hopefully you've just skipped this part. Anyway, let's move on to other sounds and other features of the ARH520FM-VLS. Let's talk about the knobs and switches. So you might recognize these two things as two humbuckers. These are Super 58 Ibanez pickups. We've got a three-way switch here to switch between the pickups as we normally would do on a two humbucker equipped guitar. However, we've also got these two little switches down here, which are three-way switches. All the way to the bottom, let's talk about the bridge pickup. All the way to the bottom is this switch. That gives us the humbucker mode. In the middle, it gives us the split coil. So it's just this coil here. So there's two coils in the pickup. It's giving us a single coil mode. And up here, it's giving us both of these coils, but in parallel, rather than in series when connected like a humbucker. I'll explain that again with some sounds. So, bridge humbucker with humbucker mode on the tri-sound. Split coil, so just this coil nearest the bridge. And then parallel. Quick run through of all the sounds without talking. Let's do the same with the tri-sound switch with the neck pickup. So humbucker mode first. Split coil, this time this side, so the outer coil again. And both coils in parallel. And it's nice to know that the guitar retains some of that warmth even when it's in that single coil mode. It sounds fairly on its way to being stratty. Not quite stratty because of other reasons, but it does give you that versatility that you wouldn't get if you didn't have the switches. Now, I did wonder originally if these switches were worth it because they're quite new to me. I've never played a tri-sound guitar before. However, in the preparation for this video and the making of it right now, I've decided that, yeah, it is worth it. And what a great, great way to have a three-way switch but still open up some other options rather than have a five-way blade. Although an out of phase might have been nice. There's no push-pull or anything like that. Up till now, I've been running through the Fender Deluxe Reverb. I'm going to play a little bit more rock now with the Marshall SV20H. Okay, here we go. Some rock. Now, I'm not going to go through all the switch combinations, so like bridge pickup in parallel and then neck pickup in single coil mode. That would take far too long, and I really think that you should have got the gist of the sounds with what I've done so far. However, I am going to put both in single coil mode and switch to the middle position just to show you that, because that sounds really, really fun. That's one of my favorite sounds of the guitar because it's the Telecaster middle position mode, because you've got these two in single coils, switch in the middle, that gives you, yeah, that's Tele in the middle. Sorry, it takes me a while to get my head around these switching things because I'm generally a little bit dumb when it comes to that, but definitely worth it. I wouldn't want to go on stage and not know what that did. I'd want to know what that did if I was really using this as a guitar that was going to be my first guitar. So I'm glad I did. Glad I do. Hope you do too now. Sorry for the confusion. Let's move on. One of the most interesting things about this guitar is the price point and the woods and hardware and all the things you've used, because I think Ibanez are spending money in different places for your 750 euros or whatever currency you're in. But it's certainly not a budget guitar, and it's certainly not an expensive guitar, in my opinion. There are far more expensive guitars in this room and indeed available to you anywhere. There are far cheaper guitars available. So what I like is that this guitar could well have been over 1,000 euros, but Ibanez have made some interesting choices with the wood. This has not a mahogany body, but an 𝗚𝗘𝗜𝗍 body, which is mahogany-like. It also has the J-Toba fretboard, which is kind of rosewoody, but not rosewood. And by using these alternative woods, not only are Ibanez being a little bit kinder to the environment, they're also managing to source these woods cheaper, because a 𝗚𝗚𝗡𝗡 is cheaper than mahogany and 𝗤𝗘𝗏 is cheaper than rosewood, because they're not so desired, because we guitar players are a bit strange. The acoustic properties of these woods are very, very similar. And what I like is that because Ibanez have spent less money in that area, they seem to have spent more money in other areas. So we've got the tri-sound switching, we've got Super 58 pickups, we've got great tuners, which I know shouldn't be such a big thing to talk about, but I've played guitars around this price point that don't have great tuners. And almost most importantly of all, when buying a guitar, the people that built this in China have spent a lot more time on it than they would have if they'd used more expensive woods. So what I'm trying to say is the woods are cheaper, more care has gone into this guitar. So for me, for this one, it's beautifully set up. There's absolutely no issues with fret ends or blemishes, or, I mean, I haven't even talked about this, which I should have, because it is one of the major features of the guitar. It's abalone binding, which I think is gorgeous and really sets off that violin sunburst. However, I can understand that it might be a little bit too gaudy for some. It almost sets it over the edge of, whoa, too much, too ornate. But Ibanez have continued that with the abalone and acrylic block inlays, and also there's a kind of abalone looking symbol up here on the Ibanez badge. I'm not sure if it is, or mother of pearl or something, but what I'm trying to say is they've continued that ornateness throughout the whole guitar. So there's a theme. They haven't just stopped here because they said, we've spent enough money, that's enough. Get it out the door. And that's where I think this guitar, even though I would play rock with it, it does really, really lend itself to that jazz, those clean lead lines. On that neck pickup, even I could get what I consider an acceptable jazz tone from it. And that's quite a surprise. You may be wondering how heavy the guitar is, so let's weigh it. And I've taken the cable out of the guitar this time as well, so we're going to get a true result. That is, in kilograms, 3.16. If I turn that over to pounds, that is around 7 pounds. So it's not a light guitar, because considering that it's semi-hollow, it should be fairly light. And it does lend itself to a bit of neck dive. I can feel it going that direction all the time. And if you look at this video when I'm not really paying attention to the guitar, I'm probably holding it down like that, which I shouldn't be. Also, because sitting on my knee, that little cutaway there is a little bit tight for my massive thighs. Mileage may vary depending on thigh size. Thighs. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't do rock with this, but I am going to say that if you're only looking to do rock, then maybe this guitar is not the one you should go for. That is, unless you're absolutely in love with the look and the feel and the playability and the tone. However, if you're buying blind, if you're online shopping, maybe look at something different to this, because it's a little bit too dark, in my opinion, for rock. It is perfect for anything that's a little less gain. I don't think it does metal. I'm not going to go there. Sorry. I feel this video is meandering a little bit. Let's get back on track. Let's talk about build quality. Because you might be wondering, 749 euros or dollars or pounds, whatever you're in, built in China, you might be wondering, how well is it built? And the answer is superbly. I've sat with this thing for quite a while, quite a few evenings. It's been a go-to guitar on a few other videos because I've had it quite a while. And I can't find anything to complain about. The binding is beautifully done. The finish is gorgeous. Everything, even inside the F-hole, is wonderful. There's nothing like hanging around like excess wood or something they've done that I could complain about. Build quality on this guitar is top-notch. Well done, Ibanez. Oh, I thought I found something then, but it's not. It was just something stuck on a little bit of fluff. Damn it. Okay, time to round up the review to get to the bottom line. Should you buy it or should you skip it? This is the perfect guitar for anyone who is looking for a big jazz box sound but can't quite fit their arm around a jazz box, or doesn't like or prefers the comfort of a Les Paul. It's kind of like a Les Paul that's even more suited to jazz. It is not suited for someone who wants to purely rock, I don't think. I think the strengths lie in the jazz or clean ambient, somewhere there. If you're smaller bodied and you want to play jazz, seriously check out one of these, because I think you're going to get the tones that you want at a weight and a size that you can actually handle. If you just want to purely rock, then I would look at something else. This will rock, but it isn't its strength. You've made it to the end of the video, which means you're in the End of the Video Club, and to prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite, when you leave your comment telling me what you think of the ARH520FM-VLS, please also include the phrase F-hole, and that'll let me know that you watched this part and we can all have a jolly good giggle at being involved in something together and some unity. Thank you for watching. I hope you've taken away some information or at least some enjoyment from it. Thank you to Ibanez for sending out the guitar. Thank you to Dr. Dan from Meinl for supplying me with this and sponsoring the video. If you fancy sticking around, there's a subscribe button if you want it. Otherwise, there's other videos you can check out, but you probably should be practicing guitar, which is what I'm going to do now. See you later. Bye-bye.